What's up, y'all? Today will be fun. We will be doing a Relicanth only run in Pokemon Fire Red. And to make it even more fun, every Pokemon, including the trainers, will have a really good chance to be shiny. So for example, Brock can potentially have a shiny Onix. Anyway, Relicanth here has a base stat total of 485. To give you an idea of how much that is, it is the same as Appletun, Beartic, Raichu, and oddly enough, Comfey. So realistically, it's not the worst, but also not the best either. But its weaknesses are what'll make this challenging. Relicanth here is a water rock type with weaknesses to electric, ground, fighting, and double weak to grass. We have many to worry about, like Lieutenant Surge, Giovanni, Bruno, and worst of all, Erica. But Relicanth does have a really good defense, which is nice. So yeah, this challenge will certainly not be all cupcakes and rainbows from those weaknesses I mentioned earlier. But anyway, let's get it started.
So to start, I name my rival Grass, because Grass is our enemy here. But afterwards, I pick Squirtle as my starter, so that my rival can have a Bulbasaur. And my Squirtle isn't shiny. Now we get a Relicanth. But wait! Let's go for a shiny one. Yeah, let's hunt that one. And there we go! We get the shiny on 6 encounters, I think it was. There's a counter down there, so... I mean, it could be wrong, I could be totally wrong, but who cares? We catch it and we name it Papa Smurf. And then we go to Viridian Forest and destroy Kid's bugs. We then go to Pewter City and take on Brock. He sends out Geodude, who dies to one water gun, of course. Brock then sends out Onix. He goes for a tackle, doing a measly 3 damage, and then goes down to 1 water gun, earning us our first gym badge. Hey, we're not complaining. We also learn Rock Tomb from Brock, which will be super helpful in the long run. We then head to Mount Moon to take on a super nerd. He sends out a shiny Grimer, and Rock Tomb gets it to low yellow health, lowering its speed. But Grimer uses Disabled, but 1 tackle takes it down. He then sends out Voltorb, who does a tackle doing 1 damage. But my tackle misses, and Voltorb goes for Screech. And my tackle gets it to low green health, but my second tackle gets it to red health. Voltorb goes for a charge, another tackle finishes it off. He sends out Coughing. I use a Rock Tomb, getting it to low yellow health, lowering its speed. While Coughing misses a Smog, I take it down with a water gun, beating the super nerd. And then we pick the Dome Fossil, because I like that one more simply. So I swear to God, no comments being like,
"Oh no, get the Lord Helix, oh!"
Now we get to Cerulean City and we take on our rival Grass. He sends out Pidgeotto, who uses a quick attack for 2 damage and dies to a single Rock Tomb. He sends out Bulbasaur, which I use a Harden, raising my defense. And he uses a Vine Whip and I died. So we try again. We destroy Pidgeotto again, and for Bulbasaur, I miss a Rock Tomb and he uses Vine Whip, doing half. And then I use a Rock Tomb, getting it to low yellow health, and then he uses Vine Whip. We beat the Bulbasaur. I cut it because the battle was long, but rest assured we beat the Bulbasaur. Grass then sends out Abra to use a Teleport, and we miss a Rock Tomb. Abra fails to use Teleport, but 1 Rock Tomb and it's over. Grass then sends out Rattata, and it falls to 1 Rock Tomb, beating Grass. Now we do some crazy and then take Bill's tickets. Now we take on Misty, who sends out a shiny Staryu. Staryu goes for a Harden, and then we use Rock Tomb, getting it to red health. Misty uses a Super Potion, and then we use a Tackle and a Rock Tomb, beating the Staryu. Now Misty sends out Starmie. Starmie uses Water Pulse, doing okay damage. We use a Rock Tomb doing half damage. And we use another Rock Tomb doing 1 HP with Starmie. And then it uses Recover, but another Rock Tomb beats Starmie, earning us the second gym badge. Luckily, Misty gives us the move Water Pulse, which we teach, and that'll also be super helpful. Now we hit to Route 6 and we find a Pidgey for HM purposes and name it Olmar. And we find a Meowth, which we catch and name Pheromosa. Now we make it to SSN to take on Grass. He sends out Shiny Pidgeotto, who dies to 1 Rock Tomb. He sends out Ivysaur. I use a Water Pulse to try getting the confusion, but Ivy uses Sleep Powder and I fall asleep. Ivy uses Leech Seed, but I somehow avoid it and I wake up and I miss a Rock Tomb. And Ivy uses Leech Seed, which isn't great, but I use a Rock Tomb getting it to yellow health. Ivy tries for Sleep Powder, but it misses, and dies to a Rock Tomb. Grass then sends out Kadabra. He uses Kinesis, and I use a Water Pulse getting it to yellow health. Kadabra gets confused and hits itself and dies to a Rock Tomb. Grass then sends out Raticate, which I use a Water Pulse getting it to yellow health. Raticate uses Iron Fang, doing 2 damage. I use another Water Pulse, getting it to red health, and Raticate uses Cyber Fang, doing damage. But 1 tackle takes out Raticate. Now we give the captain a nice, soft, smooth, calm back rub, and we take the HM cut and we teach it to Pheromosa. Now we take on Lieutenant Surge, who sends out Voltorb. He goes for Shockwave, leaving us at green health, thankfully, and we one-shot with a critical hit Rock Tomb. Lieutenant Surge then sends out Pikachu, who dies to 1 Rock Tomb. Then he sends out Raichu. He goes for Thunder Wave, paralyzing us, which isn't good. We get it to yellow health with Rock Tomb, and he uses Double Team, and we try for Rock Tomb, but we miss. And then he uses Shockwave, getting us to low yellow health, but luckily, we hit the next Rock Tomb, defeating Raichu, earning us the 3rd gym badge. We then go to the club and talk to Mr. Chairman, and we get the bike voucher, which we use to collect the bike. After spending 30 years collecting Pokemon, we go inside Diglett's cave, and then we get the HM Flash, teaching it to Pheromosa. We then go to the Rock Tunnel and get Rock Slide, which will be amazing for Relicanth, let me tell you. We grab the coin case and get lots and lots of coins. We then get the move Ice Beam, which is literal S tier for grass types. We make it to the secret base to take on a Grunt who has a shiny Koffing, and it dies to 1 Rock Slide. We then send out Zubat, and we miss the Rock Slide, and uses Bite, but it dies to the next Rock Slide. We beat the Grunt and take the key, and we battle Giovanni. He sends out Onix, who dies to 1 Water Pulse, obviously. Giovanni then sends out Kangaskhan. It goes for a Tail Whip, lowering my defense, and we use a Rock Slide doing half damage. Kangaskhan uses a Tail Whip, and we miss a Rock Slide, and it uses a critical hit Mega Punch. We try another Rock Slide, and it lives on 1 HP. And it uses another Mega Punch, not doing a lot, and then a Water Pulse takes it down. Giovanni then sends out Shiny Rhyhorn, who obviously dies to 1 Water Pulse, beating Giovanni. And we collect the Silph Scout. We go to Lavender Town and head inside and battle Grass. He sends out Pidgeotto, who dies to 1 Rock Slide, you know how this goes. And then he sends out Ivysaur, who dies to 1 Ice Beam, thank goodness. He then sends out Johto Gyarados, who dies to 1 Rock Slide. He then sends out Kadabra, who dies to 1 Water Pulse. Grass finally sends out Growlithe, who falls to 1 Water Pulse, beating Grass. That was so easy, thank Arceus. Or is it Arceus? I don't know. Before we forget, we grab the move Fly and teach it to Olmar. Seriously kids, don't forget to get Fly in these games. We then take on Erica, who sends out Victreebel, and we use an Ice Beam, and it lives on 1 HP, but we freeze it. Erica uses a Hyper Potion, but another Ice Beam takes it down. Erica sends out Tangela, who dies to an Ice Beam. And Erica sends out Vileplume, and I use an Ice Beam and it lives on yellow health and misses a Stun Spore. and another Ice Beam takes it down, beating Erica, earning us the 4th gym badge. We talk to Mr. Fuji and we grab the flute. And then we battle Snorlax and we beat the shit out of it. Sorry, Waffle. Anyway, we head to Fuchsia City and get our ass into the Safari Zone. And then we get the gold teeth and grab Surf. And then we give the gold teeth to the Warden. We then take on Koga poisoned. He uses the Coughing, who dies to a critical hit Rock Slide. Koga sends out Shiny Muck, who dies to a critical hit Rock Slide. Koga then sends out Coughing, who lives a Rock Slide, and uses Self-Destruct, leaving me at yellow health. Koga sends out Wheezing, and I miss a Rock Slide, and Wheezing uses Sludge, which barely does anything, but Poison does the damage. I hit Rock Slide, and it lives on green health, and uses Sludge and Poison, and I use a Water Pulse, and yeah, screw it, we're dead. We try again, and we hit 2 Rock Slides, getting it to red health. Wheezing uses 2 Sludge, but a Water Pulse takes it down, earning us the 5th gym badge. Now we get the tea and give it to the thirsty guard. We make it to Saffron City and go inside Silph. And we battle Grass, who sends out Pidgeot, and we destroy it with a Rock Slide. Grass then sends out Venusaur, which we use an Ice Beam, getting it to low green health. And he uses a Sleep Powder, which sucks a lot, and I die to a critical hit Razor Leaf. Venusaur here was defeated by 2 Ice Beams and avoiding a Sleep Powder, and the second Ice Beam was a crit. I couldn't get the footage, sadly. Here's you of my team to prove I didn't cheat. Anyway, Grass sends out Gyarados and uses Dragon Rage for a good 40 damage, and a Rock Slide gets it to low yellow health, and flinching said Gyarados, and I defeat it with an Ice Beam. Grass then sends out Alakazam, who uses Reflect, raising its defense. We use a Rock Slide, doing half damage. Alakazam uses Future Sight, but we defeated it with another Rock Slide. Grass then sends out Shiny Growlithe, which we use a Rock Slide for low yellow health. And Growlithe goes for Leer, lowering my defense. And Water Pulse beats Growlithe, beating Grass. Now we take on Giovanni, poisoned, who sends out Nidorino, and Surf gets it to low yellow health. And Nidorino misses a Fury attack, and we get a critical hit Surf as if we didn't use that before. Anyway, Giovanni sends out Nidoqueen, which we use a Surf for half damage, and it poisons stings us for 3 damage. And we take it down with another Surf. Now Giovanni sends out Rhyhorn, who of course dies to a Surf. And now Giovanni sends out Kangaskhan. We use a Surf, getting it to low green health. And Kangaskhan uses a 3 damage rage. And Poison is kicking our ass. And we use a Rock Slide, and Kangaskhan lives on 1 HP. And Mega Punch doesn't do anything, but Poison kicks us and we lose. Woo! We try again, and we use a Surf for low green health. And Kangaskhan uses Mega Punch for less than 20 damage. And we use a Rock Slide, getting it to 1 HP. And Kangaskhan uses a 4 damage rage, and Surf takes down Kangaskhan, beating Giovanni. And we grab the Master Ball, and we take on Sabrina, who sends out Kadabra. And we use a Surf, which gets it to low yellow health. And Kadabra uses a Calm Mind, and Kadabra uses a Super Potion, and I use a Surf, getting it to low yellow health, and Kadabra uses a Calm Mind, and I get it to 1 HP with Surf. And another Surf beats Kadabra, and Sabrina sends out Mr. Mime, who dies to a Rock Slide. Sabrina then sends out Venomoth, who obviously dies to a Rock Slide because it's a Bug type, which doesn't make sense, but who cares. And Sabrina sends out Alakazam, who uses Psychic for a good 67 damage, but ultimately dies to a Rock Slide, beating Sabrina, earning us the 6th gym badge. Now we make it to Cinnabar Island, and we go to the mansion and grab the secret key. And we take on Blaine. He sends out Growlithe, who dies to a Surf. And then he sends out Arcanine. I use a Surf, doing half damage. Arcanine goes for a bite, doing a good 30 damage. But we take it out with a critical hit Surf. Blaine then sends out Ponyta, who dies to a Surf. Blaine then sends out Rapidash, who uses a pathetic Fire Blast, and I destroy it with a critical hit Surf, beating Blaine, earning us the 7th gym badge. We make it to Sevi Islands and we destroy the Hypno because it's creepy. And we make it back to Viridian City to take on Giovanni. He sends out Rhyhorn, who dies to a Surf. He sends out another Rhyhorn, who dies to a critical hit Surf. Jeez, this is hilarious. Giovanni sends out Dugtrio, who uses Earthquake for a good 42 damage, but it dies to a Surf. Giovanni sends out Nidoqueen, who dies to a critical hit Surf. Giovanni finally sends out Nidoking, who just straight up dies to a Surf, not even a critical hit, earning us the final gym badge. Now we battle Grass, who uses Pidgeot, who dies to a Rock Slide. Grass, oh lord, sends out Venusaur, who uses Growth, and Ice Beam doesn't even do half here, and I die to a Razor Leaf. So I cut the Venusaur because it was way too long. I am so sorry. Here's my team to show I didn't cheat. But you guys deserve to see me beat Venusaur in the champion battle. Anyway, Rhyhorn shows up and dies to a critical hit Surf. Grass sends out Gyarados, which I use a Rock Slide and it lives on 1 HP. And Gyarados uses Hydro Pump, getting me to red health. And I beat it with a Surf. Grass sends out Growlithe, who dies to a Surf. And then Grass sends out Alakazam, and who uses a Future Sight, and I miss a Rock Slide and die to a Psychic. Yay. We try again. Here's my team again, and Alakazam disables Surf. But I one-shot it with a critical hit, Rock Slide, beating Grass. Now we're on Victory Road. Now we're at the lead. Wish us luck, please. We take on Lorelei, who sends out Dugong, who dies to a Rock Slide. She then sends out Cloyster, who uses Protect, and we hit a Rock Slide, getting to red health. Yeah, you know how this shit goes. Yeah, here's the end, because Cloyster is a bitch. Lorelei then sends out Slowbro, which I use an Earthquake, living it to green health, and it goes for Amnesia, and I flinch it with a Rock Slide, and I beat it with another Earthquake. And now, we have the worst luck with Lapras, literally ever. I use a Rock Slide, almost beating it, and Lapras uses Confuse Ray, and heals with a Citrus Berry. I hit myself with Confusion 2 times, and Lapras uses Surf. And I hit myself again, and Lapras uses Surf. And I snap out of it, but I miss a Rock Slide. And Lapras uses Surf, and after healing it, he uses another Surf. And I miss a Rock Slide, and he uses Confuse Ray. And I hit myself, and it gets a critical hit Surf. And I hit myself again, and I die to Surf. Woo! I try again. I use a Rock Slide, almost beating it. And Lapras goes for Confuse Ray. And he heals with Citrus Berry. And I hit myself. And he uses Surf. But thankfully, I hit the next Rock Slide, finally beating Lapras, my lord. And now Lorelei sends out Jinx, who dies to a Rock Slide, finally beating Lorelei. Now we take on Bruno. He sends out Shiny Onix, who dies to a Surf. Then he sends out another Shiny Onix, who dies to a Surf. Huh. Bruno now sends out Hitmonchan. I use a critical hit Surf, almost defeating it. Hitmonchan uses a Rock Tomb for 12 damage, and uses a full restore. I use a Surf for not even yellow health worth damage. Luckily it misses Sky Uppercut and dies to an Earthquake. Bruno then sends out Hitmonlee, and he uses a critical hit Brick Break for 147 damage. And I use an Earthquake, getting it to red health. Hitmonlee heals and uses a Brick Break for 69 damage. Nice! I use an Earthquake for red health, and I eat another Brick Break, and Hitmonlee dies to a Surf. Now Bruno sends out Scary Green Giant, and it goes for Bulk Up, and I'm sweating, and trust me, it gets bad. I get a critical hit Surf, and it gets to yellow health and heals with Citrus Berry. I live a Cross Chop, and a Surf doesn't beat it. My strategy is to heal until it runs out of Cross Chop, since it's just 5 PP. But wait, it crits and I die! Yay! I try again and it uses Bulk Up, and I use a Surf, leaving it at green health. And it hits me with a Cross Chop, doing 176 damage. I use a Surf and he heals with a Citrus Berry. And I try my strategy again, and it works in my favor. And it only uses 2 bulk ups and 2 Surfs to beat it, finally beating Bruno. Now we battle Agatha. She sends out everyone and uses 18 damage Shadow Punch. And I use the Surf for half damage, and it uses a Confuse Ray. I hit myself, and it uses Double Team, but falls to a critical hit Surf. Agatha then sends out Golbat, and uses a 20 damage Bite, and it dies to a Rock Slide. Agatha then sends out Haunter, which I use a Surf, and it lives on yellow health. And she uses a Forestore, and I beat it after 2 Surfs. Agatha then sends out me, and it uses Hypnosis, and it uses Nightmare, which isn't good, and then it uses Shadow Ball for 23 damage. Gengar uses another 2 Shadow Balls, and it uses a Rock Slide, getting it to low yellow health. And it heals with Citrus Berry, and it hits me with another Shadow Ball, and dies to a Rock Slide. Agatha sends out Arbok, which I use an Earthquake for low yellow health, and uses Iron Tail for 23 damage. Another Earthquake takes down Arbok, and we beat Agatha. Now we battle Lance. He sends out Gyarados, and I get it to yellow health with Rock Slide. And he uses Dragon Rage for almost no damage, and it dies to a Rock Slide. Lance sends out Dragonair, who dies to a Blizzard. Lance sends out another Dragonair, which I use an Earthquake, getting it to low green health. It does small Dragon Rage, and Rock Slide gets it to 1 HP. I cut the healing, but it dies to Rock Slide. Lance sends out Dragonite, and I miss a Blizzard, and he uses Outrage for 75 damage. I hit a Blizzard for red health, and I almost die to an Outrage, but it heals with a Citrus Berry and gets confused. It hits with a Wing Attack and dies to a Blizzard. Lance sends out Shiny Aerodactyl and uses Ancient Power. I use a Surf for red health, and he heals with 2 Surfs and beat Aerodactyl. That's so confusing. Beating Lance. Now for the Champion Grass Award. He sends out Pidgeot, which uses Feather Dance, which is very, very bad. And I do half with Rock Slide, and he uses Aerial Ace for 11 damage. And dies to another Rock Slide. Grass sends out Rhydon, who dies to a single Surf. Grass sends out Venusaur, who starts with Solar Beam. I hit a Blizzard for green health, and as you can expect, I die. I try again, and Blizzard does half, and heals with Citrus Berry, and I die again. But I try the 2 Blizzards again, and it works! Grass sends out Alakazam, who uses 2 Psychics, leaving me at low yellow health, but dies to a Rock Slide. Grass sends out Gyarados, and uses Hydro Pump for 88 damage, and 2 Rock Slides take it down. Now Grass sends out Arcanine, and uses Bite for 53 damage. And I use a Surf, getting it to red health, and it heals, and I use a Rock Slide, and it uses 2 Bites, leaving me at 10 HP, but another Surf takes it down, beating Champion Grass. Woo! Thank goodness, we won. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter and TikTok, and have a great rest of your day. See y'all later. Bye.